I know, I actually done something rather insane last week. I mean, it was my birthday on the 14th, and I was getting quite tired of all the split ends, and I was actually growing my hair to make a donation of it. I've done this before in the past. Those of you who are familiar with my blog will be aware of this. This time I was going to do the same thing, but then, the lockdown happened, and I couldn't go out, and my hair was really, really long, and there were a lot of split ends. It was getting tangled all the time. It was almost hip length, touching my hips actually, and it was very, very difficult to maintain. So I watched a ton of YouTube videos, and let me tell you, they make it seem a lot easier than it is. And then I made an announcement on Facebook that I was going to chop off my hair, and then one of you, Sandy Bonesteel, gave me a piece of advice. Thank you, Sandy. She said, start trimming it, step by step, just trim it. And then trim it again, and then trim it again until you reach the length you want. So hopefully you won't mess it up. And I did exactly that. I started trimming my hair, and now this is the length that I have. It is actually a bit longer than I would like, but that's the back. So what I'm planning is, I'm thinking of, this is the length that I want. That is the length that I'd aimed for post-donation. So what I'm going to do is trim it some more over the next couple of weeks or so. However, let me tell you, there are a few videos that I have that were recorded before my grand chop or grand trim, as it were. And those will go up, so don't be, surprised to see me with long hair in upcoming videos as well. So yeah, unfortunately I didn't take a before picture, nor did I do a video of the process, because I was quite sure that I would mess it up. What I did was, first I plaited my hair to the very ends in 4 different plaits and removed all the split ends. So in order to trim it, what I did was put my hair like this on both sides, and then trimmed to the length that I wanted, step by step, and then, checked the back for unevenness, and then addressed those sections. It was quite difficult to grab that particular section and, trim that part enough. YouTube makes it look a lot easier. Right, that's a whole 2 minutes wasted talking about how I cut my own hair. Sorry about that. Back to the topic, and I promise I won't deviate after this. More than half the world is in lockdown, and we're all staying safe at home. Us beauty junkies, how are we coping, and how can we cope better? We can't go out, we can't, until, the lockdown ends, all beauty events are cancelled. Most stores have closed. Online orders, there are those that say, you should order only essentials at this time, and, not burden delivery services by ordering beauty products. We'll talk about all that in this video. So how are we coping, and how can we cope better, beauty junkies, beauty addicts, makeup lovers? Launches have trickled down to almost nothingness. There's very little news coming. The beauty industry is set to face massive economic losses this year. The supply chain has, suffered thanks to China also being affected by the coronavirus. So how are beauty lovers going to cope? Until the first week of April, I was barely functioning. All I was doing was staring, numb, at my computer screen, at the rising figures and, the steep curve of numbers on the Johns Hopkins COVID tracker. And, that was all I was doing. I couldn't do anything. And then, as my birthday neared, I decided to take charge of the situation and to stop going to seed. I've resumed working out. Hopefully that will put paid to the weight that I gained thanks to the hydrocortisone injections. I'm obviously wearing makeup, and I cut my own hair, as I said. So there's an upswing, and there are a few things that I've done in order to make this, make myself feel better. So these are tips for makeup and skincare junkies who are missing the beauty world, and I don't just mean buying new products by that. I mean, maybe going into a shop and swatching something, attending a beauty event, seeing new launches, new things launch. Because as I said, launches have trickled down to almost nothing. Spring, summer launches, we should be hearing about those right now. We're not hearing about this. Shipping has been affected as well, both international and domestic to a large extent, as essential items are being prioritized. A lot of countries are not allowing in shipments from Japan and Korea. A lot of Japanese and Korean websites are not shipping. So here's how I turned things around. Here's how I coped, or I am coping with matters at the moment as a beauty junkie, as a makeup addict, as a skincare lover. And I hope these tips will help you as well. So off we go. The first thing is self-care. This is the right time to have a very strict, a very thorough self-care routine. So now might be the right time to take out your most decadent products. Now might be the time to shower with your Molten Brown shower gel, and then use the Brazilian Boom Boom cream, use that dry brush, and have more bubble baths. Even though it may seem, very difficult at times, I think it is very important to stick to a very strict skincare routine. And I admit that until the first week of April, I was, it was just cleanse, random serum, moisture, that was it. And then I had a stress-induced breakout, so I had to take out all my acne care products, my sort of big gun acne treatment skincare, because I couldn't get my hands on prescription products. Once the breakout happened, I had to treat the breakout, so automatically I had skincare, a strict routine. So, it was easy. Now my breakout's gone, all clean. And after that, it was easy to stick to a routine, just replace the acne treatment serum or acne treatment toner with my regular serum and regular toner. That was all that was required. I am with a strict skincare routine right now. So I think it is very important that we set up a strict skincare routine. I mean, it doesn't have to be a very elaborate one. It doesn't have to be 10 steps. But, by all means, 10 steps, feel free, knock yourselves out here. The important thing is make time for self-care. That's what I'm trying to say here. Make time for self-care. It will help you cope as beauty junkies. The second tip is, to have a spa night in at least once a week, at least, ideally twice a week. Apart from bubble bath, DIY pedicures, foot soak your feet. It doesn't matter if you don't have a dedicated foot soak. Make up your own, add a few oils in there, fragrant oils, and maybe a few flower petals, rose petals if you have your access to some. Or just soak your feet in warm salted water, and use a foot file and scrub away any dead cells, and use a foot scrub, or make your own sugar scrub in the kitchen, and scrub your feet thoroughly with that. It really helps. A spa night in at least once a week. I'm doing that now, and it's helped me feel a lot better. The third tip, I have a large mask stash, face mask, not COVID masks, not N95 masks. It turns out I'm actually allergic to N95 masks. I broke out along the outline of where the mask touched my skin. So yeah, I'm talking about face masks that you apply and rinse off. So I have a large stash, and I must admit that I'm not really a face mask or sheet mask person. I can't be asked with masks. This, however, there's more time, there's more feeling low, and I felt that a mask would cheer me up, and boy did it do that. So I've been using face masks almost every other day, clay mask and moisturizing mask. If I use a clay mask today, I'll be using a moisturizing mask the day after tomorrow. That's how my routine is right now. So use a face mask, delve into your stash. It doesn't have to be the same kind of mask. Use a peeling mask, a hydrating mask, a clay mask, a peel-off mask, an acid-based mask, anti-acne mask, cleansing mask, whatever it is, use a mask. The fourth tip is to sort your stash out. I've been doing this. I haven't decluttered at all. I find that there isn't much that I want to declutter at the moment. But definitely sort your stash out. Divide things into skincare, makeup, neutral makeup, glamorous makeup, summer makeup, winter colors, and so on. And that way you'll get an idea of what is in your stash and Seeing all that makeup will make you feel better. Particularly, when you can't go into a store and, look at all the makeup there, you can look at the makeup in your stash. Number 5, and this is very important because as makeup lovers or beauty lovers, skincare junkies, we're used to trying new things, and now we can't, obviously. A lot of us have a huge stash of samples from gifts with purchase, beauty boxes, advent calendars, and so on. Now might be a good time to delve into that stash of samples that we have, the huge box in which we dump all our samples, and take a look at what we have, what we can use immediately, and there you might find some things that are new. Number 6, connect with fellow beauty lovers online. Watch YouTube videos, read blogs, beauty blogs, connect with beauty lovers on Instagram, on bulletin boards, on Reddit, on Facebook groups, on amino apps. There are a couple of nice beauty communities on there, and there's Reddit Makeup Addiction, where you can do makeup looks and share them. There's Reddit Skincare Addiction, of which I'm not a huge fan of, but Makeup Addiction I really like. I mean, I'm a lurker, I don't really post. And then there's the Reddit Indie Makeup Group, which is really, really cool if you're trying to discover indie brands to support at this time. Number 7, try a new makeup look at least once a week. The whole enchilada, eyeshadow look, everything. Experiment here, because now obviously most of us are not going out, so this might be a great time to try out a cut crease look, or something, or mix a few eyeshadows and see if you can get a duochrome look there. Try graphic eyeliners over here like this. I mean, I haven't obviously done that, but I've had a lot of fun playing with makeup over the last 1 week. Try false eyelashes if you have them stashed somewhere and have been too scared to use them. So try new things. This is a great time to experiment. No one's going to see if things go wrong. Also, nail polish lovers, this is a great time to mix different nail polishes. So, experiment and see if you can create your own new color, or, duochrome polish even, or multi-chrome. If you have a lot of glitter stashed somewhere, mix it up in clear polish or even colored polish and see what happens. However, this won't work if you have gel or acrylic nails already. I don't. I'm bad with my nails. The next thing is to deep condition your hair at least once a week. Have an oil massage at home. This also might be a great time to use your stash of Olaplex number 3. I leave this on overnight actually, and wash my hair in the morning. Deep condition your hair. That way, you don't go to seed. Your hair is still in good health, and your hairdresser is in for a pleasant surprise. This is also a very good time to let your hair recover from, heat damage if you've done that. I haven't heat styled my hair in a very long time. I've used a heating brush, yes, straightening brush, if you will. I'll talk about all that later. But the thing is, I haven't used a straightener or a blow dryer in a long time. And that is because I've heat fried my hair in the past, and I wanted to recover. So this lockdown is a good time to let your hair recover from all those excesses and let it, heal in its natural state. The next thing is to do your own skin treatments at home. If you have an at-home peel, don't use a very strong acid peel at home, people. Please don't go in for anything stronger than the Ordinary's AHA 30% and BHA 2% peeling solution. Yeah, the one that makes you look like you're having a vampire facial, like there's blood on your face, that one. So this might be a good time to do a peel at home. This might be a good time to do your own dermaplaning. That's my razor. Shave off your peach fuzz, as it were. This might be a good time to start derma stamping. I will do a video on derma stamping shortly. Most importantly, the idea is not to go to seed. Do not go to seed. Shave your legs, exfoliate your body, get plenty of sleep. Do not go to sleep like I did, because if you do that, you break out and you make yourself worse. I've finally, sort of turned things around and taken charge, and I'm no longer gone to seed. I hope you can tell from how animated I am compared to how I was about a week or so ago. The next tip is to download and use beauty, makeups and skincare apps, and to read beauty books, whether it is on your Kindle. This is my Kindle. I will do a video on my favorite beauty apps for makeup and skincare, both for iPhone as well as Android, and touch upon my favorite beauty books. I admit that I don't actually have any recent beauty books, but I do have what my mum bought in the past, and there are some that talk about Princess Diana's makeup looks. So yeah, I've been reading all that. It's a lot of fun. It's basically 1980s and 1990s makeup, mostly 1980s makeup. Bright blue eyeliner and things like that, and it's a lot of fun to read actually. It doesn't have to be a current makeup book, and you don't have to learn tips to use for yourself. Just go through it. That way you're connected with the world of beauty, and you don't feel that low about missing the world of beauty. Now, a lot of us are unable to buy beauty products, obviously, whether it is skincare or makeup. And I actually made the huge mistake of going on a complete no-buy for January and February. So, when the lockdown started in March, I found that, I was on an enforced no-buy. So I wish I hadn't gone on that no-buy in January, I could have bought beauty products in Jan and Feb, instead, and, gone on that no-buy now. What I did was, for January, I made what I call a no-buy box. I have talked about this before. I will make a YouTube video on this, I promise. I did make one. Unfortunately, then the lockdown happened, so I had to sort of change the topic from my specific no-buy period to cover the lockdown. So I'm going to have to redo that video. So it's coming up soon. Make a no-buy box. That will help you. It isn't, straightforward shopping your stash. It is something else. It is a way of finding surprises, actually. So I'll talk about this in a separate video, I promise. The next tip is to subscribe to a beauty box, if you can. That way you get, again, a monthly beauty fix without missing it too much. I wish I had done this. And Look Fantastic tells me that they've actually sent me their April box, but it hasn't apparently left their warehouse according to the tracking that I have with me. The thing is, a lot of shipments are now being very delayed, so I'm not sure how far, buying something online will help right now. But it helps if you find a beauty box where shipping is still happening. I mean, there's a No Make No Life box, about which I have talked in videos about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I think. It's a Japanese box, but obviously I think a lot of Japanese websites are not shipping internationally right now owing to the coronavirus. And I'm not sure incoming shipments from Japan will be allowed in a lot of countries either. Ditto Korea. So this is a bit of a problem. At least look up spoilers, maybe stay in touch with what's happening in the world of beauty boxes. Find out what's inside. And that way, once the lockdown ends, you'll be in a position to figure out which box will suit you, if nothing suits you at all, and either subscribe or not. Lastly, if all else fails, if all these tips are not helping you to cope, and you're still missing the beauty world a lot, buy something online. I don't know how far shipping works, because I know that a lot of people have said it's business as usual. Look Fantastic said so, but orders are not coming through according to a lot of people I've spoken to. They're not leaving the warehouse. I'm talking about within the UK, let alone outside the UK, So shipping is affected a great deal, even domestic, because essential items are being prioritized. So I'm not sure how far this works, but if all else fails, buy something online. Now, regarding shopping online, there are two very opposing schools of thought, as it were. One part of it is that you shouldn't buy anything online that isn't very essential right now, because you'll be burdening the system, the delivery system. You'll be risking warehouse workers and whoever processes your order, packs it and posts it, whoever carries it and brings it to you. I know there are contactless deliveries, but everybody should be staying at home ideally, so there's that. On the other hand, there's also a lot of brands may find it very difficult to make ends meet, pay their workers. Indie brands in particular are at the risk of folding if orders don't come in. So you can't, what if they fold? What if bigger brands fold too, because there are no orders coming in and they've got to pay their staff, they've got to keep things going. So there's that as well. Now, where do I stand in this? In the middle. I'm not going to judge. Buy or don't buy. It's entirely up to you. For me, right now, as of now, I haven't bought anything after the lockdown started. Mostly because whatever I really, really need, whatever I've run out of, is actually K-beauty and J-beauty. And the websites where I order my K-beauty and J-beauty are not shipping outside of Korea. I don't know if they're shipping within Korea either. Are not shipping right now. Makeup wise, there are no new launches. Nothing's exciting me right now. I do want to support a few indie brands by ordering duochrome eyeshadows, but I'm writing in to ask them how they feel about if I were to place an order right now, and then I'll decide. Yeah, so that's my stand. This is a place where you won't be judged. Is skincare essential? Is makeup essential? I think everything can be or need not be essential. I mean, you don't need a washing machine. You can wash your clothes by hand. So yeah, a washing machine is non-essential. At the same time, it is essential as well. So yeah, there are for and against arguments for everything. There are two sides to every coin. And for some people, I think, for me, acne treatment, skincare is absolutely essential. Without it, I would break out like mad. So for me, skincare is essential. If I don't double cleanse, I will break out like mad. SPF is most essential. So I wouldn't say that beauty isn't essential. I would say that maybe a new eyeshadow palette is essential right now. It is tone deaf probably to order a large and very expensive eyeshadow palette right now. I wouldn't do that. But skincare is quite essential for me, at least. Otherwise, I'd break out. I'm very breakout prone. I need my daily acid. I need my daily, acne preventing routine. I need my oil balancing and oil controlling products. Otherwise, I'll again break out. So, isn't it essential? Otherwise, there's a lot of acne on your face, and the very people who tell you not to buy anything are going to look at you with revulsion and shudder. I've been there. I've gone into hiding in 2016. I've fled to my parents' house and hidden in my old room, refusing to go out, even to sign for packages. I've seen shudders of revulsion on the faces of people because of the breakouts because of the acne on my face. So, is it essential? Yeah, I was very, very, very upset at the time. So, is it essential? It's entirely up to you. For some people, it may be a question of this may be what's keeping them sane. So, I'm not going to judge. This is not a place where you will get judged. Feel free to buy, feel free not to buy. I'm not going to tell you either way. I haven't bought anything so far after lockdown. Will I? I don't know. So those are my tips for beauty lovers to cope with the lockdown, to cope with whatever is happening right now, and not miss the beauty world. How are you coping? Are you missing the beauty world a lot? Are you missing buying things? Are you missing the new launches? Are you missing attending beauty events? Are you missing going into a shop and swatching things on the back of your hand? How are you coping? What are you doing at home? Do you have a regular routine? Are you sticking to it? Are you experimenting with makeup? Do tell me all of that in the comments below. So that's all from me for today. Thank you for watching this video. Please do give me a thumbs up. Please do hit the subscribe button. Please do ring the notifications bell, and I'll speak to you soon.